Have you ever wanted a straightforward, platformy brawler roguelite with a bunch of skulls? Well, that's this game. Skul the Hero Slayer is an early access game where you play as Mr. Skeletal looking for calcium. Looking for the Demon King as he has been kidnapped by the hero of the Carlian Empire. You'll have to fight your way through a lot of dudes to get to him because this is a roguelite. And you know what that means. Going room to room, killing stuff, getting money, buying stuff, looting items, and replacing your head. That's the main mechanic in this game. 1 second you're a little skeleton man, the next second you're MFing Kratos. Yeah, I don't remember Kratos using a giant sword, but whatever. You get different skulls in the game that basically change your character. Each one has its own passive, basic attack string, and abilities. The abilities are purely cooldown based. There's no mana or energy or ability-ness resource. Every skull also has a swap effect because you can have 2 skulls and you can swap between them. Some of the swap effects are big attacks like the Jinn turning big and doing a Falcon Punch. Some of them are more defensive or evasive, like the werewolf going zoop when you switch to it. There's a good amount of different skulls, but some of them are kind of weird. Like there's this mummy skull that has a gun? It can also launch its head off like a bomb. Huh. And what about this one? Rider. Wait a second. If this is... Oh yeah! Oh yeah! 10 out of 10 game, buy now. The progression in this game is linear. Just murder everything in a room and go to the next room. As in most roguelites, there's also passive items that increase your stats or give you some odd bonuses. You can only have 6 items in this game though, so you have to decide what to keep. You also have a slot for a quintessence, or an active item that shoots poison balls or makes you take less damage, or throws out a mining pick that's worthless. They also have passive bonuses. Every level, there's 2 shops which can have a few dudes in it, but it's all random. There's an orc chef that will sell you heals that come with buffs, a shop with 3 random items, a headless skeleton that will trade any skull you have for the skull he has, and a Jinn Azura looking dude that'll sell you a random quintessence. There's also space for another dude, but I've never seen him. While kicking all these goody-good adventurers in the face, you'll come across hero battles, mini-bosses where you'll have to fight a random hero. They'll attack you, try to drink health potions, and charge up for a super attack. After you beat them, you get a pretty big heal and some mad loots. Every level ends in a big old boss battle that'll test your mettle. Only the strongest may survive. When you die, you can use this dark quartz resource you get from killing everything to upgrade yourself with
meta progression.
These are some pretty beefy upgrades too. Straight health and damage, invincibility frames on dodge, resurrection after death. God dang! You also find some guys that start you off with a skull and an item for free every run. That's pretty nice, except for when they want to keep giving me the shitty ones. Let's talk about some good things instead. Blah. The combat in this game is pretty great when it's clicking. You can stagger most enemies on hit, so keeping groups of them under control, canceling ranged enemy attacks, and managing big dudes you can't stagger is a lot of the game. Switching between skulls, hammering their abilities, and then switching back to finish enemies off just feels slick. There's a good variety of skulls, and the same skull can even roll different abilities. Sometimes Sword Skull's ability is poison attacks, sometimes it's combo stabs, and sometimes it's a piercing thrust. You don't have to pick money or dark quartz up, it just automatically gets put in your bank account. The bosses are legit. They're actual bosses that are pretty difficult to take down. The meta progression dudes that give you items are nice. I like having the variety at the start and not just being the base skull every time. Overall, I really like the flow of combat in this game, the variety of skulls, and the breadth of content this has for early access as far as the player goes is pretty good. But this experience is hampered by some, Now I'm gonna wait till my skills off cooldown. Man, the stage variety in this game is not great. My pronunciation's not great. The same rooms appear almost every run, and they almost always have the same or very close to the same enemy spawns. After a couple times in the same room, it's like, oh, as soon as I step down here, there's gonna be 2 mages and a priest, so let me trigger the spawn and insta-kill them. Now this could go both ways. It is kind of cool knowing what's coming next and countering it right when it spawns, but without that variety, running the same rooms a lot gets monotonous. I got stuck on the second boss, which I'm not going to show for spoilers, and that takes about 25 minutes to get to every run. Due to the meta progression and familiarity with the rooms, the whole first stage just becomes a smorgasbord of easily dispatched enemies. Since there's no branching paths or optional rooms, you have to do a full clear every run. Most rooms are just giving you money, which can feel a little useless at times. Every common item has a rare version that's just a straight up better version of the common item, so why would I want to waste my money on the common version? Unless I wanted to have both the common and the rare version, I wouldn't. The safe area shop is also kinda weird. Everything is random. I know this is a roguelite, but the people in the safe zone, on top of offering random wares, can randomly also just not be there at all. The orc's healing is also bonkers random. Sometimes he heals you for 30% of your health, sometimes he heals you for 5%. I know complaining about randomness in a roguelite is pretty rich, but maybe this is too random? While I'm on healing and randomness, enemies can drop healing orbs, and yeah, they're kinda inconsistent. Sometimes you get 5 in one room, and sometimes you go multiple rooms and no heal. Lastly, on the subject of randomness, the skulls are tiered by a rarity system. Common and rare skulls only have one ability, except for Ryder because, he's awesome. While unique and legendary skulls not only have 2 abilities, but they usually have some other kind of resource or effect they can pull off. For example, Dark Paladin can make a shield once he hits enough people with his abilities. Why limit the really cool stuff to the rare skulls that hardly ever appear? Why not have a meta progression thing that gives a higher chance to find rarer skulls? Also, sometimes you find a skull you like with the wrong ability. Like the Gargoyle skull can either get this Banana Slamma Stone Stomp, which does big damage, or Stone Form, where you turn into stone and can't be hurt for 2 seconds. I wish there was a way to reroll abilities at the shop in exchange for some monies. So adding all these up, I got stuck on the second boss for a while, had to keep playing through the very familiar and uneventful first level, not losing very much health until right before the second level boss, and either getting a hero fight straight into the boss, or a crappy heal from the orc. Your food is terrible. I'm taking my business elsewhere. This left me to fight the boss with half health a bunch, which, you know, So I set out one last time to beat the boss. The game must have felt bad for me because it gave me everything. 2 unique skulls, a unique item, and 5 rare items, and a rare quintessence. I finally beat the second boss, got to the 3rd level, and died horribly. RIP. I think this game is pretty classic early access. It just needs more content. The player has a decent amount of variety, but a lot of the cool stuff is locked behind rare drops. The environments could really use some help though. I don't mind dying to bosses over and over, but I don't like needing to play the preceding 20 minutes of familiar material to get there. Again, it might be silly saying this about a roguelite, but that's how I'm feeling, man. I played a total of 28 runs over 12 hours, unlocked most of the progression, cube, and made it to the current final area of the game without completing it. You can find Skul on Steam for $18 or your regional equivalent. If you like this video, smash like, tell your friends, hey, there's this guy that puts too much effort into editing these reviews of games no one's ever heard of. He's kind of funny, I guess. Thanks, man, really helping me out. Actually, I think with this video, I'm gonna take a break from early access games, or at least early access roguelites. It seems to be the same thing most of the time. Wow, there's some cool stuff here, but there's not enough content. And a lot of these games update at a pace where my video is outdated in like 5 seconds. Necronator has a whole new desert area now, and Adore completely redid their stamina system and added more stuff. I just can't make these big scripted and edited videos for games that are this volatile. But I feel like editing is one of my stronger points, so how would I even cover such games? Stoop myself to Let's Play level? I have never, and would never, do such a thing. 2 Lainz, out.